Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm your host, Dante.
And I'm your host, Deacon.
And on tonight's edition of DNN, Dungeon News Network, we bring you... Just kidding. Thought that would irritate you a little bit there. Well, Deacon, here we are on episode 31. 31.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I thought it was crazy last week when we did episode 30.
Yeah.
That was on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do one on the 31st. Otherwise, that would have been episode 31.
That would have been.
But we did the night before. We did the Saturday, right? Because it's Sunday. Yeah, it was all a blur. Is that the cat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. It's an alien pawing at the door. It's a big black claw come underneath.
What if we call it DLN, Dungeon List Network, for all the lists that you bring?
Dungeon, the DLN, the Dungeon List Network. Yeah, I mean, I do lists once in a while. I don't have any lists on tonight's notes, so that'll make you happy. I feel like I'm doing that thing again where I'm turning around like I got to be like the Exorcist. My head's got to twist around to look at you. You should move your chair up. There you go. Now I can harass the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. In a good way, not like a bad way. You know, like teasing I tease because I love son. Mm-hmm. Anyway, here we are, episode 31, and we're cooking along. And the holiday seasons. I say seasons because there are numerous holidays coming up. Not just the two that like most people go to, like, you know. I mean,
it's hard to believe we're already in Christmas times.
Yeah. See, oh, you bastard! I knew you were gonna say that. Well, there's a whole lot of stuff coming up. You know, Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, right? And Christmas. And
we're already in Christmas.
What am I missing? I mean, obviously Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's like a whole lot of stuff coming up. Anyway,
happening,
it's just amazing. It's like time is accelerating. All of a sudden, here we are in November again. You know, I was just talking about how fast October went because, wait, what was that? I'll catch it on the playback.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, one way or another, like it will catch up to you. Anyway, yeah, so it's like...
Where'd the time go?
Into the time warp. Let's do the time warp again.
Pretty much what I said, yeah.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
We said, like, it's amazing, and I said, time is fleeting.
Okay, good one.
Yeah.
You said it so quiet. I wish you would have said it a little louder.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's really fucking funny?
What's that?
I was at work today, and I was doing laundry for, like, the 5th time that day, and I was just like thinking like, okay, what are we doing on stream tonight? What are we doing? And I started thinking, and I was like, man, it's crazy. We're already in like, we've been doing this for a while, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like holiday. I was thinking pretty much the same thing. Like, it's gonna be holidays soon or whatever. It's insane. Time is going fast. And then I was like, how can I make a time is fleeting joke on the stream? And I was thinking about it. And that's almost the exact sentence that I thought you were going to say. I just, like, I'm in your mind.
Yeah.
I can read it.
We're in tune. We got the psychic connection.
Yeah.
It's like, so at work were you singing, let's do the laundry again?
Yeah.
It's just a shift to the left.
Yeah.
As you're loading the washer. I could see
God,
that. I used to do shit like that at work.
I wish I could say that and load the washer that often, because let me tell you, it is so annoying doing that, because they have these like funny bone. They have these like massive comforters, and you have to run them through the washer like three times to get them to get them fully dry, because it takes
why do they have comforters at a veterinary clinic?
Because sometimes they'll put them down on the floor for like padding on the floor. If they have a dog that's out of surgery, they don't want to just stick it in a kennel, so they'll put it in a room and they'll give it like a blanket to lie on, and they'll kind of like pad the floor up so it's comfier for the dog.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but oh my god, washing and drying them sucks, because you have to run them through the dryer twice to get them like fully dry.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, you don't want to put them back on the shelf like wet, so they don't get like mildewy or whatever. So
yeah, and these washers nowadays, they have the like less dry or dampness. It's like, why would I want my laundry damp? I mean, I get it. Maybe it saves energy. You can take it out and hang it up on the line. But like, I hate the thought of like putting on damp laundry, especially in the fall and the winter.
Oh God, no.
You get that chill in you. And you can't get that chill out of your bones. It creeps in you, you know.
I'm gonna let her in. I think.
Are you really?
Yeah, because
you're gonna let the game room mascot in.
She's gonna be jumping up on. Hi, come on in.
Come on, Zuzu. Here comes the Nerd Nest mascot, Zuzu, the giant fluff ball. Here's my baby.
She's gonna be like jumping up on the shelf and jumping in the ceiling.
Jumping up in the camera.
Yeah.
Say hi to the Twitchverse.
Who's over there?
Oh, you're trying to get her to look at the camera?
Who's over there? Nearly.
If it had a little laser light that could bounce around, she'd be whack.
You could shine one
King
up there.
Kong. She's like, "There's my butthole, Twitch."
Yeah.
That's one thing kitties are good for. The infamous zoom, like, "Here's my butthole."
Where you going?
Anyway, so it sounds like you had like an action-packed day at work, huh? Full of laundry.
Yeah, that was
Oh, how exciting! I don't think my show notes can top that. That sounds like a good story. But a couple things I wanted to do. I did want to give some shout outs to some folks who dropped in last week. Specifically, Wake186. Thanks for bringing along the Grumpy Potatoes for the follow. Thanks for the follow there. Appreciate that. And for anybody who's out there watching, like, if you haven't seen the Grumpy Potatoes, fantastic stream. They play a lot of Valheim. And yes, it is Valheim. I watched the two creators of the game do an interview a couple weeks ago, and that's how they pronounced it. So anyway, you can say Valheim, you can say, whatever makes you happy. I've switched over and started saying Valheim. Anyway, they play a lot of that, and I hang out with them like when I'm on my lunch break during the day, and I'll chat with them. Good folks there. And who else dropped in? Oh, AR Verpine, or Verpine. That's our buddy Carl. And he had a really fantastic, super long chat with us right before we were about to shut down the stream last week.
Yeah.
And then we wound up staying on for like another almost hour. So that was a marathon stream. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's finally up on YouTube. It took me 3 times to try to get that uploaded. And you know what? I don't think, even though I had the high def one, it loaded up at 360p, and it's like really kind of crap. Yeah. And I don't want to re-upload it because then it gets out of sync chronologically. I don't know that there's a way to like bump it back in the queue. So I just left it. 4 hours and 42 minutes the stream was. Longest we've ever done.
All fireside chat too.
All fireside chat. There was no from the Workbench, no battle zone, no nothing. And it was pretty good. And then before Carl came on, Eldritch Nerdo came on and chatted with us like almost through the entire stream. He almost made it through the whole thing. Yeah. He was probably working on 3D printing and stuff in the background. So thanks again, Jason, for popping in, and Carl, and everybody who tuned in last week.
Yep.
That's it for the shout-outs. I mean, like, the recap of the show was pretty much, we talked about... It was a good thread. We had some good segues from one topic into the next and tied it all together. Kind of like the rug that tied the whole room together. But yeah, so, and then we did the next night scriptless, unscripted for the most part. We did the candy taste test, and we didn't have show notes or anything to go by for that.
We never actually made the tier list. I never did that.
No, you did never do that. And I never did update the Discord server, so we suck.
Yeah. Wow.
We failed you, our Twitch viewers. But it's mostly for people who go to YouTube anyway, who don't have an account for Twitch to watch the live stream. Get an account. We can help you. We can, if you're having problems setting that up, let us know. We'll help you. What else was I going to say? So yeah, on the note of Discord, if you're looking for the Discord server to see past show notes and that, get the link off of our About page here on Twitch.
Same with our YouTube channel.
Same with the YouTube channel, because we don't have a simple way to point you to it. Go to youtube.com/ it's a whole bunch of letters and it's a mess. But we do have a vanity URL for Facebook, and that's simply facebook.com/blackdragontavern. You can go to what are we on? We're on Twitter, and the handle there is tavern_black. And we're on Instagram, and the handle there is @BlackDragonTavernOnline. So check those all out. All the links are on the About page here on our Twitch channel. And so we have people in different channels for different reasons and stuff. They go there and they follow us, and it's fantastic. Life is good. But we need to do some more updates, I think, on... I'll knock out the stuff on Discord. You got to start putting some stuff up on Instagram. Do you have anything that's finished, ready to go? crickets.
So what else do you have in the show notes today?
Oh, now you want to hear
Yeah.
the show notes. I'm not giving you the middle finger there. That's got my finger in a splint. Got a problem with the tendon here. It's acting up, and it's a condition called trigger finger. So I get to wear this like fun, irritating splint for 2 weeks that I think is doing absolutely no good. You know, we talked about that because of how short the brace is, and it should be the whole hand right here. Anyway, you want to see the show notes? You want to know what's on the show notes?
Sure.
So 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and trot. Gunpowder, treason, and plot. Yeah, and trot. Guy Fawkes Day.
I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should
ever be forgot. Right.
Yeah, I love V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. Yeah, that was my favorite movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything on here about that, though. Mostly just, I remembered at the last minute that it was 5th of November, and I said, oh, work that in there somehow.
You know, I really like what we did with PieHoleCon. I think we should start doing that for, like, every fancy stream, like, 5th of November stream. Let's get some pies for that. PieHoleCon, get some pies for that. Halloween stream, candy, let's get some pies for that. On top of the candy, you know, like...
Then we could just change our name from, like, Black Dragon Tavern to, like, the Pie Hole Tavern. The Pie Pub.
Yeah.
Far Cry 6. I thought this was interesting.
Huh.
We've been watching, we've been seeing advertisements for that now for weeks upon weeks. I know, but what I'm saying is we've been seeing advertisements because they were doing a heavy rotation of advertisements, especially on Hulu, and I think maybe on Netflix. I can't remember.
No, I don't.
It was one of the stations
on Netflix.
Yeah, I'll bet they're coming. Anyway, maybe it was Hulu. We re-upped that again. Anyway, I digress. So what I thought was interesting is I was reading an article the other day on Polygon about how Far Cry 6 has taken accessibility up a notch, kicked it up a notch. And if you don't know what accessibility is, you should learn now. It's a really important thing.
Stop saying that Dark Souls is not accessible.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that. Table that just for a little bit. But with Far Cry 6, this article is interesting. It's written from the perspective of somebody who had some visual impairments. The author claimed to be legally blind, and I'm not doubting them by saying they claim to be legally. They presented themselves in the article as being legally blind, and me not knowing technically what that means,
Isn't
obviously.
That like,
I thought it was just literally like blind. You can't see anything.
I thought legally blind was anywhere from like fully blind to not fully blind, but like heavily impaired vision.
Well, apparently so, because that's why I said, being like a Luddite, I don't know if that's the right term, not, being ignorant to the fact of what the definition of legally blind is, I assumed it was you couldn't see anything, but apparently that's not the case.
I mean, I'd assume it's safe.
But if you have a coworker who is a newly certified accessibility coding,
isn't that
I don't know if it's coding expert.
You used to do? Or didn't you used to do some of that?
Yes, it's. I didn't do the coding. I did the compliance part, which meant that I had to draft the specifications for websites to give to developers who did the coding and say we need to meet Title III, Americans with Disability Act, the ADA, also known as the ADA or Title III. We need to meet these following requirements, so we don't get sued again. I can't say the name of that place, but
nope.
So that's what I did, and I made sure that, like, as a project manager and as a compliance officer, I had to make sure we followed GDPR,
that sounds
CCPA. It's like EIEIO. It's like all these acronyms.
That sounds like something that you would have in a game like Wolfenstein or whatever, like the compliance officer.
Yeah. To make sure you're compliant with all the rules and regulations. Shit you don't even know exists because some state, mandated that you have to. The California, it's got, because I'm out of practice now because I don't do this for a living anymore.
It's the California Water Act. Your site cannot have any images of water, else it's going to make the citizens of California jealous.
It's I want to say maybe it's Act 65. It's about their deadly, like their heavy metals, their deadly, like they have to warn people. Prop 65. I think that's what it was. Prop 65.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And if a tool is manufactured in a country like China, there's a chance that some of the metals are lead.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff they use in the components may be lead based. So Prop 65 is primarily for California residents, and you have to put a warning on your labels, the Prop 65 disclaimer. This product may contain the following substances which are found to be carcinogenic or cancerous in nature or cause cancer. So
do you know you can?
And despite me struggling to remember,
Sorry, real quick, train rail off tracking on that. You know what you can buy on Amazon by the roll? You can
lead
buy...
roll-ups.
Yeah, lead roll-ups.
They're flexible.
Yeah.
Flexible
you can
metal.
buy the Prop 65. This product contains ingredients known to cause cancer. You can just buy a roll of those stickers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really wanted and you were really just like in the mood to do some trolling one day, you could just buy a roll of those and go placing them around stuff.
Oh, you don't even have to troll. I guarantee. I know I could name one store you could walk into and it would be legitimately valid to put them on like probably 75% of the products there. The dollar store.
Yeah.
So much of that stuff is like,
yep.
Questionable. I mean, like totally sus. You look at some of this stuff. It's like that's not stainless steel. I guarantee. I could bend that. With my, I could bend that with my thoughts, like Uri Geller, like psychically bend the spoon. That's lead. Heat it up a little bit. Watch it melt. You can make bullets out of that. You can make miniatures out of that, like they used to do in the old days. Oh, God, this chair's killing me down here.
It's like you go up, get some candy at the dollar store. You're like, why are these strawberry gummies like black? What happened to these?
Yeah. Mommy, why do these taste like metal? And why am I going insane? But anyway, yeah. So yes, that's what I used to do. I used to be a compliance officer for the legal department of a major global corporation.
I wanna get
aside as like part of what I did there.
I want to get some Adeptus Arbite minis, Arbites minis, and just like paint them up and then write compliance officers on all of their bases.
That'd be kind of cool. So anyway, back to the original topic, Far Cry 6. So the author of the article was talking about features like high contrast item outlines, vibrant colors that you can assign to enemies, and item pickups that make it easier for players with visual challenges, to get through the game. The one thing they did say was, despite all the improvements, there's still a long way to go. Like truly adjustable fonts. They have some HUD stuff. They have some that have some issues. They have some dialogue, some things you can set the font size for, but a lot of the text, he said, which were boring anyway to read most of the time, but you can't adjust a lot of that stuff. So they still have a lot of work to do, but it's a good step in the right direction.
It is. Because it gives for you, sure.
And I think most of these you don't have to choose actively, or you can disable. Which is good because, it's not for everybody, but for those who need it, that's the critical piece.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt you to have it if you don't need it.
That's absolutely right. And they should be, like all these game manufacturers are game producers, not manufacturers. All these game producers that are doing, online digital games and stuff like that, or for the Fallen, should all have a set of standards that they adhere to. Because you'd make a whole lot of people happy. And it's the law in many cases where you've got to be Title III compliant. So check your local, check your Title III, Americans with Disabilities
I was thinking
Act.
of Prop 65 still, I think.
Prop 65, yeah. Then CCPA, the California Consumer Protection Act, GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. There are more out there. It's a lot. Once you open that Pandora's box, there's a lot to keep up with. And I'm the kind of nerd that likes to read that stuff. So like that's how the whole thing started. Talking to the general counsel for the company, and I said some stuff, and he's like, "Whoa, how the hell do you know about that?" And I said, "I study it." And he's like, "We want you to do this. We want you to do. You're already in charge of the web group. Can you act as a compliance officer? Can you and do the drafts for all the requirements?" Yeah, sure, why not?
Here's your armor, here's your helmet, here's your stick. Go on, compliance officer.
This is my rifle. Never mind. Another thing I read about earlier this week. Have you been keeping up with any of the Assassin's Creed Infinity
stopped after
news?
the Egyptian one.
Origins?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really get into Odyssey, did you? You didn't play that? Yeah.
It looked cool.
It is cool.
Did not care about the gameplay, did not care about the story. It just, after Origins, and even some of the ones before then, after there, the whole series has just started to go downhill, I think. It's overstayed
It's overstayed its welcome.
Yeah.
It's overstayed its stay. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew where you were going.
It was good,
it's the
and
thought that counts.
now it isn't.
Yeah, and we talked about this on another stream before, so I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. But yeah, I mean, like when you're fighting, the Sphinx, when you're solving the riddle of the Sphinx, and then you got to do combat with them or Medusa. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way. It's kind of cool, but man, she kicked my ass so many times.
Well, not only that, but it's leaned much more into the combat and all that, and also it's leaned a lot into especially in the newer games like
the RPG.
Valhalla, was it? Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Odyssey. It got very kind of mythical. Like you're gonna fight.
That's
the
what I'm
witches,
saying about
and
fighting
fight
Medusa,
Sphinx
fighting the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Yep, and there are many other.
Exactly, and it's okay, well, this isn't necessarily the story that I had wanted. About two rival political. I don't know if I'd say political, but one's kind of religious, the Templars, and one's very whatever. And you had that whole intricate story, and they carried it over into the new games, but it kind of took a backseat to look at the monsters you're fighting, and not look at this story that you are going through, and this is the character, And
fundamentally opposed religious perspectives.
Yeah, although the assassins weren't religious, necessarily.
No, that's true. They didn't really play them that way in the early franchise, in the early installments of the franchise.
I mean, even if you take
But I mean, at its core, okay, you cannot deny that when it started off where it did in the Middle East.
Yeah, okay, that religion played a big part in that, because it was the Crusades.
The prevailing religion, there was Christianity. There was also Islam, though, because I mean they were right in the Middle East, and it was
in the middle.
It was
of the Crusades,
growing
the
crazy, So you can't deny that. So the fundamental philosophies of each of those religions were opposed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about the religion. It wasn't just about whether there was a god or not. It was the application of the power.
Yeah.
The acquisition and the application of the power of these artifacts, these religious artifacts, pieces of Eden, towards the control of humanity.
Yeah.
And that's where they're
But
fundamentally
also, I'm saying, even in the early games, despite the very heavy religious setting of it, because, again, Crusades, Christianity, Islam, the assassins weren't specifically... I mean, the assassins, the individual people who were the assassins in that game were. Yeah, they weren't necessarily religious themselves. I'm sure they were, because some of them were in the game. But it wasn't like they were choosing a side and fighting just to have
under
that side's religion prevail.
Right.
It was they were saying, we're taking a side in this because this other force, the Templars, they not only it's not necessarily their religious thing, it's they want these things. They want to control people, everywhere. They want to have power, and they shouldn't have power. So, but still, you have
that's where the whole
artifacts of Eden,
the Templars, and they were pseudo Illuminati, basically
exactly.
controlling the world through means of capitalism and industry, and
but also just the artifacts would allow them to just control
brainwash people.
Exactly.
But which they were apparently starting to experiment with through television broadcasting and all that. So if you followed the subplot, the subtext of the game, and did all the little side quests and that, which were really super cool. To me, that's what made the original installments of that franchise worth playing. Yeah. Because it was
when they started talking about
there's
using the
literally
Kardashian
this
show
deep shit going on. Yeah. I love the brainwashing.
Yeah, but you had
I love Ubisoft. They're the best. Nobody else can compete with them. They're just such a fantastic company. I mean, you know, what could they do wrong?
Yeah, but like you had that story now in the new games. It's like the power and the factions. Yeah, but look at this big monster you're gonna fight. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And I mean, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, they went down that like you choose your own path RPG style of play, and it was sort of like, you know, I could take it or leave it. Get me back to like the original purpose of the, you know.
Fix the fucking trailing missions.
Because okay, so it's a fictional history, right?
Yeah.
And they say it's a work of fiction created by people of many different backgrounds, and I like that. That turned out to be kind of like despite the diversity and inclusion that they claim to have pumped into their company, they had some serious problems with misogyny, sexual harassment, and other shit like that, which is a no-go. That's a you know, and that was a big. I stopped buying.
Recent. Oh
yeah,
no,
and I stopped.
That
was a couple of years ago.
Is
well, that's Blizzard is the new one now.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft had their problems too.
In between Ubisoft and Blizzard, it was Riot, and then
Riot, So. But I mean, you know, it's sad that it's like it's. Anyway, you know, let's not go down like a really dark place. But point is, they lost their way with the whole purpose of the franchise. Like, these are killers. I'm not condoning killing anybody, but the game is called Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
About assassins who are paid to kill. And in this case, their purpose is fighting against the Templars who are trying to control the world through means of these religious artifacts.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, look, it's a giant elk that just headbutted me 25 fucking feet off on my ass, you know?
I can kill it to get leather scraps to make
craft my, oh my god, wait, is this Minecraft? Is this like, you know, and it's like, you know, like at least Ezio could go to a merchant and there were, you know, and you could invest in the city and build it up. Yeah. And even then it was sort of like questionable, like, okay, the assassins are doing some good. And maybe that's guilt money. Like, we feel guilty about like being killers, but we're going to give back to the community.
All I know
maybe you could justify that, you know.
With the Villa de, what was it called?
Montereggiano.
Montereggiano. With there, I don't think anybody put money into the village as like guilt money. I think everybody only put money in because it meant that you earned more and you could get better armor.
Yeah, it was a self-serving kind of a thing. Again,
you put money in, you get money
back. It goes towards
more
the capitalist model. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, I mean, at least that's what it's supposed to be. Original, you know, if you look up the original concept of capitalism was like people who had money said, I'm gonna give you some money to help your company out. I'm going to invest a little bit.
And then you give me the money back.
I expect a little bit. I expect the money back and a little more in return, a little profit.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe I could have an ongoing piece of it. Maybe that I think that came later. I think the most rudimentary concept is capitalism. I give you capital to help you with your business,
and you give me
with the expectation. It's almost like usury, like a loan with interest. You know, but in this case, they started like expanding the expectations. Like, I want 1% of your company, you know, but I'm going to pay you back, and I'm going to give you
Shark Tank.
You know, Shark Tank, yeah, and it's just grown out of control. But anyway,
Yeah.
so the thing about Assassin's Creed Infinity was, I guess at some point, somebody opened their mouth. Somebody high in the sea level.
Got high?
Somebody high in the sea level opened their mouth at one point and said that it was going to be a free-to-play game. Free-to-play game. And then investors like shit a brick. So the Ubisoft chief exec Yves Guillemot, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's not Guillemot. It's Guillemot. You're taking French. Is it Guillemot?
Guillemot? Dude, I don't know. I'd say Guillemot.
There's no N in there. It's M-O-T. Guillemot. Anyway,
I say it like Guillemot.
It's not going to be a free-to-play game. The game is going to have a lot of narrative elements in it. It's going to be a very
What?
innovative game.
What?
Listen to how janky this.
What the fuck does that mean?
Right. Let me back up.
The story have
let me back up and read this. Okay. So the whole point about this was Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be a pay to play. It's not going to be.
Play.
Yeah. It's not going to be a free to play.
Like so you just.
No.
So like every other game.
Right. But what I was saying is somebody at some point in the recent past...
I get that. But I'm saying like pay to play, like every other game. So why do you need to say like it's going to have a good story and it's going to...
Right, but listen to this. Let me read this again. Because this was like a whole lot of word salad.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's not going... Quote, it's not going to be a free-to-play game. He didn't say game. He said it's not going to be a free-to-play. This game is going to have a lot of narrative elements in it.
You'd hope
like every other game, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a very innovative game, almost like every one of their other ones, because they broke a whole lot of ground. But it will have what players... But it will have... Listen to this. But it will have what players already have in all the other Assassin's Creed games, and all the elements they love. That's...
So you
one
basically
hell of a marketing job there.
In like...
Basically, you're going to pay for the same thing you've been getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say in 5 very carefully constructed sentences, he said, we're doing nothing new, and you're going to pay for it.
I could make it even better and more entertaining. Same as it ever was.
Yeah.
It's like... I mean, okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay,
yeah.
So this again is like sort of like... It seems like they're lacking strategic direction. Like real hardcore focus on pulling their heads out of their asses and getting back to making a really good game with good narrative, not just like the same narrative that's, you know...
On top of the narrative, it's like, what happened to the whole assassin part of it? Like, think of 1 and 2, and even 3 in Revelations. You know, in Brotherhood, you're like, you're sneaking around tombs, you're spying, you're eavesdropping on missions, you're tailing people, you're like dropping down, you're like stealthily killing people, and now it's like, I'm gonna run in with my bow and my axe and my sword and just kill everybody in this village.
Or do the honorable thing. Kill it dead. Start a new franchise. Start a new game franchise with new title. With a new title and a whole new set of characters. Get away from trying to even call it Assassin's Creed.
I bet you if they just called it like... I don't know, man. Like...
The Wonderful World of Propane. I don't know why all of a sudden I was thinking King of the Hill there.
What? No, I was gonna say like, if they called it like...
told you the ways of propane?
If they called it like Thunderdome Rome or something like
Thunderdome Rome.
I would have loved the game. I would have been like, dude, this is
Polish
awesome.
your chariots for Saturday at the Thunderdome Rome.
I would have been like, this is awesome. Look at this game. This is so cool. But then they're like, no, we have to try and fit Assassin's Creed into there somewhere, you know.
Sunday. There'll be lions. There'll be Christians. There'll be...
Yeah. Real quick, have you seen... I know this is deviating from your show notes, so we're going to get sidetracked
Like I've been,
again.
like, you know, I mean, come on.
I've been
you know, like I said, they're more like guidelines to just give us something to talk about.
So I've been playing this show in the background lately, and I think you've caught parts of it, but it's this series called Pitch Meetings, and it's basically this guy who's like a screenwriter and the like board director that he pitches the movies to. And it's
I don't think I've heard that. I've heard you playing the one about the guys talking about Warhammer.
No, that's a different one. Yeah. But it's called...
I gotta turn my chair.
All right, it's called...
I feel like I'm like...
It's called Pitch Meeting, and basically one guy plays both characters, the screenwriter and the director, or not the director of the movie, but like the board, the director board, whatever the fuck you call it. It's like the high management that he pitched the movies to get the approval from, you know?
Yeah,
like, hey,
director of the board.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got an idea for a movie. It's going to be about this. This is what the characters are going to be. This is the story. And it's like, yeah, we'll fund your movie or whatever. But it's really funny because they take movies that already exist, like The Hobbit, and they just break it down and make fun of the entire thing all the way through and just rip into it. And it's really funny. So, like, with The Hobbit, they were like, hey, so I've been looking at the list of properties that it's okay to start making money on again, and it looks like, and he's like, Spider-Man's back up, and he's like, no, that's short. That's like every 2 years. But it looks like studio is liable to start making money on Lord of the Rings again. And he's like, oh, good. We've been really tired of not making any money on that. What have you got in mind? He's like, well, I was thinking we could do, he was like, are we gonna reboot it? Are we gonna redo the movies? Maybe have like Zac Efron or whatever. What the fuck is his name?
Yeah, Zac Efron
as Aragorn, and he's like, oh, God, no, that'd be horrible. Please don't do that. And he's like, oh, we will sometime. But he was like, I was thinking we could do The Hobbit. And he's like, The Hobbit? Isn't that only one book? How are we going to get how are we going to get a lot of money out of that? And he's like, no, I was thinking we could pad it with a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't in the book and doesn't actually mean anything and make about 3 movies out of it. He's like, great, I love it.
Oh my God.
So, it's stuff like that.
And why does it sound familiar?
yeah,
Jeez.
Exactly. So then they'll start like poking into the plot holes. Like, so Gandalf invites all these dwarfs over to Bilbo's house because they need Bilbo to go on this mission with them because they need a burglar. Do they not have a dwarf who's a burglar? No, they need Bilbo to be the burglar. Do they need a burglar? Well, no. Is there anything that makes Bilbo a particularly good one, or that makes hobbits particularly good ones? Well, I wrote it in there, so that's why,
Oh
so
God.
It's like, it's crap like that.
That's funny.
But what's funny was, I can't remember why I brought this up all of a sudden.
Because we're talking about franchises and starting new franchises.
Oh yeah, they were talking about.
Jesus, God, that's scary. Now I'm the one that's remembering the things.
Yeah.
I usually can't get my head pulled out of my own ass.
So they were talking about like, it was something I can't remember. It was like Batman or whatever. It was one of the like DC extended universe movies, and they were like, this guy was as the screenwriter. He was like, okay, I've got this idea for a movie. I was thinking we could have just a new property. We get this new character, we build him up from the ground, and we can really do something special with him. And the director was like, are you sure that's gonna sell though? I mean, I don't think. And they were like, I don't know. I think really with this, I've designed a great world with these great characters. I think we could really do something special with it. And he's like, I don't know if it's gonna sell. He's like, let me just say it, and you tell me what you think. And he said like 2 words, and the guy was like, I love it, but if we stuck the Batman logo on it and said that it was happening in Gotham, people would already have a point, like a starting point, so they'd want to watch it more. And he's like, but that's not the world and he's like, but Gotham can pretty much be the world that you've designed, but with our stamp on it. So I feel like that's what they're doing with Assassin's Creed. It's like, I've got this great idea for a game. Good, now make it Assassin's Creed.
In other words, it's like the same as it ever was. It's the same old story in Hollywood. You get a writer who produces a really fantastic script, and then they get it in front of producers, and they're like, this is great. Let's put some machine gun toting babes in bikinis in there, and let's have like Jeeps running down the beach, and inevitably they fuck everything up. You can have a solid story. And then,
except for Kung Fury, that movie's a masterpiece.
And it's all because they're the people with the money and they feel entitled.
Yeah. Like I was saying, Kung Fury's the only thing that you can add, like, dinosaur riding chicks with chainmail bikinis and M60s, too, without ruining
Kung Fury is pretty funny.
Yeah, Kung Fury is fucking awesome.
So anyway, that's the long and the short of that. To me, it was a big, what I call, like, master of the obvious.
You know what it is?
It's like, you're going to have to pay for Assassin's Creed.
You know what it is? It's FIFA. You know the FIFA games, the soccer ones?
I know of the games. I've seen them advertised. I don't know. Like,
so
anything.
It's the same deal between like FIFA and what's the other game? The basketball one, NBA Superstars.
Dude,
I don't know.
You're asking the least sports-oriented person on the planet.
Fair enough, but it's the
I've moved
FIFA,
so far.
Right?
I played sports in middle school. Loved them. Moved so far away from there.
So FIFA, it's a soccer game.
Yeah.
The FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
And
football.
Exactly. And you know what you do? You get your players, and they're actual real players. So you'll have like Messi and all of the only soccer player I know, and you'll have like all the actual soccer players, and they pay to use their names in the game and to use their likeness. And you know what they do? They make the almost exactly the same game every year. They update the logo so that instead of 2020, it's 2021. And then they...
Maybe a hot new up-and-coming player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they don't change any of the gameplay. They barely change the graphics, from one game to the next. And then they're like, this is groundbreaking. You have to buy this game. It's going to be $60. But if you want this, up-and-coming new character who's, the only reason you'd buy it, you have to buy the deluxe edition, which is, $120, And it's going to be, this insane thing. And there's never been anything like it. And then the next year, they're like, all right, you guys, gamers, you won't believe this. We have this game. It's groundbreaking. you know.
You could buy one copy of that,
and
then the next year, repackage it, invite your friends over, smoke a fat blunt, and they wouldn't know the difference. No, not that I condone smoking blunts. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but don't want to get anybody in trouble around here.
But oh my god, no. It is almost exactly the same game, re-logoed every year to get the... And it's what they're doing with Assassin's Creed. It's look at this new Assassin's Creed game. We slapped a new skin on it.
Yeah, because they're, it's the same engine. They're just putting... Now, I do love...
Same engine, different skin.
Yep, I do love the scenery. I do love the backgrounds. I do love being able to travel around ancient Greece and ancient Egypt. And
ancient Greece is what they do at the fast food restaurants when they recycle
ancient
it.
Greece is what they use
about.
at KFC. That's right. Yeah, that was from a couple episodes back. But it's beautiful. If you just want a game to lose yourself in and fuck off and ride a horse around the countryside or whatever, absolutely you can do that. You can explore the deserts of Egypt virtually. The game is huge. I think
It's
it
massive.
took me days at one point, and when I say days, I'm talking 3 to 4 to 5 hours of play for several days in a row before I hit the edge of the desert.
Yeah.
And it's just you couldn't go beyond that because they have that weird, that Matrix desynchronization field, right? It's kind of like the Matrix. It's got that weird
You
glitch.
know what you were saying reminded me of there a second, and I do have to bring it back up. Pitch meetings. And they were talking about Lord of the Rings, the original ones, and they were saying all right, how long were you thinking for these? And I was like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe 3 hours for a movie, and he's like 3. People are gonna like that. We're gonna make a lot of money off of that. So what's the story about? And he talked about the story all the way up till they get ambushed by the orcs and all that, and then he's like, so what happens after that? What happens after they fight the Balrog? After they fight the Balrog and get out of the mines. He's like, then they're going to be walking. Great, what happens after that? They're still going to be walking. And then they're just going to keep walking. But it's going to be good because we're going to get to show off New Zealand and how beautiful New Zealand is.
Oh my god.
And he was saying all right, cool, how long are they going to be walking for? And he's like, the rest of the movie. Oh my god.
While the credits are running.
Yeah. It's they're just going to be walking. That's it? Yep, and then they're going to keep walking. But what's the point of it? We're going to get to show off New Zealand and how beautiful it is. So it's like that. That's what the Assassin's Creed games are like. It's sure, all you're going to be doing is the same thing over and over, but you get to look at pretty stuff while you're doing it,
Yeah.
So.
And okay, that's pretty funny. That's on YouTube?
Yeah.
You have to send me that link. I know I've asked you for other links before and you never do. So send me the link. And I will post it. I promise you, I'll post it on the Discord server.
Oh, it's only an hour long, yeah.
I got I think I'm 6 episodes behind now.
Jesus, posting I thought you were only from the last weekend you were behind.
Yeah, no, last weekend I was 4 or 5 episodes, but we had a couple, so it's got to be at least a half a dozen. But anyway, on the last bit of game news, and you saw me, you kind of peeked over my shoulder at one point, and you got excited, and I kind of told you what it was, because you're like, yeah, just spring it on me, and then you got disappointed. But so here's the story. Bloodborne PSX is what they're calling it, which is weird, because it's not really a PlayStation game. It's just been announced, their release date for their PC game.
Don't get your hopes up.
January 31st, 2022.
Yep.
And I know it's something you would have been looking forward to.
It's done in the style of a PS1 game. So PSX is supposed to be instead of a remaster, the PSX is supposed to be a PlayStation demaster.
Demaster.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I wrote here. The remake is being billed as a PlayStation 1 fashion remake, also known as a demaster, including the old school R1 indicators floating above the enemies' heads.
I wonder if they're gonna include like all the old school PS1 bugs and like consoles overheating and like all of that kind of stuff. Controller drift, that's kind of
burning out people's GPUs and stuff.
No, that's a new thing.
That's
I'm talking
Amazon
about like,
game, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about like all the old PS1 shit, like controller drift, where you push your stick and it just keeps drifting that direction, even if you reset it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing all around, and I don't know what the purpose of it is. I don't understand it.
It's not.
Somebody help me understand.
It's not fully official. It's done with the with the sanction, with the like.
The blessing.
They've been like, sure, go. Basically, this person said, "Hey, I want to start making this game as like a tribute to Bloodborne because I really love this style, but I also really love this game, so I want to make this game in this style." And then they wrote off to From Software. I nearly said Sony, but they wrote off to From Software, and they're like, "Hey, can I do this?" And From Software was busy making their new game, Elden Ring. Comes out in February of 2022. Check it out. Oh, they released 15 minutes of gameplay and it looks very cool. But they were busy making Elden Ring with George R.R. Martin doing the story writing behind the game. Okay. And they were basically like...
So, in other words, they won't be finished till like 2073?
Yep. So they were like, go make your whatever you're making. Have fun. And then they were like, awesome, I'm going to make a PlayStation or a Bloodborne demaster for PC. So...
Cool.
What I really want to see.
And then, like, while they weren't looking, they snuck in all this other shit in there that wasn't supposed to be there. And eat at Joe's advertisements, and they're like, "What the fuck did you make?"
I think the person is gonna do a pretty good job with it because
I'm totally bullshit.
It's like it's one person doing the whole thing, and they're fairly small. Like I checked out their YouTube channel because that's I just pulled up an article on it actually, and I checked out their YouTube channel, and they're pretty small.
I guess with one person, I mean...
No, I mean, like, the channel is pretty small. It's not, like, a big, like, studio working on it where you got, like, it's a big following and all that. It's, like, one person just trying to say, like, hey, I like this game. I like this style. I want to make it in this style. Can I do that with your permission?
Is this the one you were telling me they were trying to get to remake, not Assassin's Creed?
No, different one.
Thief?
Nope, different person.
Okay.
This is... I don't know who this is. The one I'm talking about is Stayed. Stayd.
That's right.
Is doing a remaster of the original Dark Souls on PC because it's already on PC. It's easier to work with the files there, and he's completely overhauling it. He's redoing textures. He's redoing hitboxes too because there's some weird shit where like you'll have a spear. Spears thin, tall like this, and the hitbox will be like this big. So like if you get hit by spears here, if you get hit here, it'll count as the spear hitting you. Which is weird. It's like I could go like this over here.
Overlap. So they
so like the spear is here, but the hitbox would hit you.
They extend beyond the boundary of the.
But some of it's fucked up because
silhouette of the.
There was a thing called the Pursuer in Dark Souls 2, which probably had the most notoriously fucked up hitbox, where he's got an attack where he shoots forward and at the end he kind of like dashes like. And at the end of the dash, he thrusts his sword forward at you. But the thing is, you're here, sword's here. He's here. You move out of the way. He thrusts the sword here. You're over here. And then it just teleports you back onto the sword because the hitbox fucked up and registered you getting hit.
Yeah, that's weird.
So it's like...
That would irritate me. That's why I don't play a lot of those games like that.
Well, that's not like a design like, we're going to fuck over the player. That's just a glitch.
No, I know, but like that would irritate me. And like in a game like the Souls games already, just like...
Yeah. I still want to have you sit down and play Dark Souls because I think you'd like it.
I know you do.
Hey, look, I got Griffin to sit down. He's been whenever he comes over here, we've been sitting down and he's been playing Dark Souls, the original, at my computer. And he's doing pretty good. He hasn't played any of them before. He's completely new to it, and he's doing pretty good at them. So, yeah.
I don't like to leave a wake of destruction behind me, so, I'd rather not. So, Deacon, just to top things off, because I know you love them, and you were a bastard about this earlier, I have a list. And I thought you'd be interested in this, because it's a Christmas list of Gizmodo's, quote, hot new toys of the week. And here's what's really beautiful face.
Is a Mariah Carey CD on the
there
top
is
toys?
not. There is not. But listen to this. It sounds like a warmed up rehash of old school toys from like the past 3 or 4 decades.
Cool. What do they have?
G.I. Joe Striker, essentially a plastic jet fighter and a mobile missile launcher that looks like a baggage train at an airport. $230. Hasbro, quote, retro, end quote, G.I. Joe Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow O-Ring, keep an eye on your O-Ring, figures. $40 for the 2-pack. NECA, I don't know what NECA is. I guess that's a manufacturer that does these like vinyl miniatures. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle monster mashups. They're doing TMNT again. Why?
And fucking G.I. Joe again.
Price.
I thought G.I. Joe went away in like the fucking 80s.
Yep. Price unknown.
90s. Whatever.
NECA Gargoyles. Gargoyles! That's like a 1980s or 1990s cartoon?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Gargoyles, Hudson figure. Pricing unknown. Here.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool if they were making like, like gargoyles.
This one takes the cake. I don't know why. NECA, The Evil Dead, quote, Ultimate Ash Williams figure, end quote, doesn't even have the chainsaw arm. He's holding a chainsaw, but he does not have the decapitated arm. Well, amputated, not decapitated.
No,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why I corrected myself.
Yeah, don't get ahead.
Doesn't have the chainsaw, duct taped to his arm. It's not so ultimate. Pricing unknown.
No.
And Brio is coming out with a new wooden train set called Munipal set. The wooden cars, little train cars.
Okay, well,
$17 a piece. Do you remember?
Okay, well,
do you remember your
I was gonna say I can see doing those because kids like those, but like $17 a piece.
It's just amazing that it's still. It's amazing. One, it's still around. Two, they're still popular.
Yep.
And the price. Well, I mean, the price of wood and all that stuff has gone up. But like it was just. I was laughing. I was like, so here's another telltale sign of like you can tell the way an article is written. You can tell what generation the person is in that wrote the article because they're like, it's like the classic 6-inch action figures that you grew up with. I'm like, no, you're wrong. G.I. Joe, the original ones were 12 fucking inches high.
Yeah. Fully
articulated. Like the joints, you could move the joints all over the place.
You know what it's like? It's like if you went into, say, a pitch meeting and said, hey, I was looking at the list of what we can make money on again, and it looks like some stuff's coming up,
That's a great segue because, I mean, I figured you would... I was going to leave it off here because you had mentioned, like, oh, I'm glad you don't have lists on there. But your talk about the pitch and rehashing things, it's like, that's a really good segue because I don't get it. And maybe it's like... Maybe they're doing it for people who are, like my generation, the generation after me, that want to collect some of this stuff, Like if you let it go, if during your lifetime you got rid of it, we'll probably bump it up in the top of the hour.
Yeah.
If you got rid of this stuff, like somewhere along the lines after your childhood, a lot of stuff when you see like, oh my God, that GI Joe set's going for like $500.
Well, yeah, but like
I used to have that.
It's not gonna. If you get a new one, it's not going to be worth that.
It's
unless you're buying it for
unless it's just for the collectability and the what's the term, the nostalgia.
Yeah. See, it's like I've got this rare holographic Charizard that's like super expensive. Why is it expensive? Oh, because it's rare. It's rare. It's old.
It's original.
It's original. It's not being made, and it's out of print, and it's in good condition.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, why are you buying these? Oh, because this G.I. Joe set is going for like however much money. It's like, okay, but you realize that has like none of the qualities except for being the same character that makes the other one expensive.
Right.
It's not old.
It's a remake.
Yep, it's not old. It's very new. It's being made. It's probably gonna be like worse quality depending on what they do. I mean, the old ones could have been made of lead for all I know. I don't know. They made the minis out of lead. Probably made.
I don't know.
Like,
they had metal. They did have metal
figure,
joints,
like...
and they might have been tin or aluminum or cheap metal. But I don't know if they were lead. They may have been. Who knows?
Here you go, kid.
I don't
Here's
think
a G.I. Joe doll.
Something like that though, because it'd smash real easily.
Oh God, you know what would be awful? Here's your G.I. Joe doll. All of the bullets are made out of real lead.
Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess like it's like people talking about like Magic the Gathering cards. It's like, well, they reprinted Black Lotus. It's like, well, yeah, but they're reprints.
Reprint, yeah.
And they're not worth anything. Like if you have original, I've got a couple of boxes of original Black Border set. They're probably not worth anything because I'll bet they're a lot of common cards and they're
Probably
there may be
not
some
in the
rare
best condition either.
No, they are. They're in really great
okay.
condition because I had never really played with them. But I don't have Black Lotus. I don't have any of that stuff that was worth a fortune. Because again, it was just sort of like it got to be a little insane. Pardon the use of the expression, but just the thought of a piece of cardboard being worth several $1,000s. And like, well, how much would I have to spend to go chase that card? Well, I got a Black Lotus.
It's like
you spent $1,000.
Exactly. It's like this card is worth $1,000. Oh, how much did he spend to get that card?
$1,000.
Yeah, exactly. It's like great. All you're gonna do is like break even. Maybe you'll make a few dollars in profit, but like
unless you hung on to it and then the price went up because I told you the story of Dave the Black Hole Patterson.
Yep.
Bought a truck cash.
Yeah.
After selling a couple of sets that he had, but that was ridiculous.
I was watching, I think it was Ludwig, and he was about to buy a Pokemon thing.
A Pokemon thing, a Pokemon
it was
card?
it was like an old set. It was like an old mystery box thing, like the ones you can get now, like that but older. So it contains cards that are out of print because the box is no longer in print.
Yeah.
And it was going for, I'm not even kidding. It was like 17.
Sealed booster box.
Sealed booster
box.
Not
a
it was
mystery
old.
box,
It was. I think it was like
box.
original set, like original as in like 1990s when the game came out. Originals, and it was going for like the whole box was going for like 17,000. And he called his friend / servant / accountant and was like, do we have $17,000 to spend? And he's like, you can't just ask me that. That's an insane question. Do you even know what you're asking? And also, what the fuck are you buying that's 17,000? We have a car. We don't need another one. What are you getting? It's like, I'm making investments.
Investments.
And that's what they were talking about. He was like, okay, I see, you're buying Pokemon again. And he's like, so you do realize these aren't going to be an investment, right? And he's like, well, the value of the card goes up over time. And he's like, are you going to open the packs to find out if the valuable cards are in there? Because if you open them, the value is going to go down. Are you going to be handling the cards? Because then the value is going to go down. Are you going to be doing all this? And he's like, well, when they get older, So it's like, you have all this stuff, and it's like fucking ridiculously expensive just because it's old and people want it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a longing for the past. It really is. I think it's a deep psychological human trait where we long for the past.
Yeah.
We see the things that made us happy as children or young adults or whatever, and we're like, I want a piece of that again because, let's face it, there's a lot of fuck up shit going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Bad shit, and people are trying to escape from it.
Yeah.
And I'm all for escaping from the shit, but
that's why
at some point
like
somebody's got to pop their
you
head up like whack-a-mole and deal with the bad shit and take the bad shit out and make the bad shit go away so that we can all put our heads back up above ground and live happily lives forever after.
So that's why, for an escape from reality, I like to play tabletop games like Cyberpunk, where you have to deal with oppressive capitalism and cutthroat politics. And
right.
All that.
I was gonna say, like play something unique like Jihad.
God, yeah.
Vampire, they changed the name from Jihad to Vampire, the Eternal Struggle.
Yeah.
Where like you're playing vampire clans who deal in politics and media control.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't fucking escape it,
Yep.
It's like now I see why people lose their mind playing Candy Crush Saga and Fruit Ninja and all that shit. It's like I don't have to think. Although, that was a large part of why I would come home when I was working out of the house, come home from work, and I just want to go on the computer and blow shit up. I'm like, I'm just going to, and your mom would be like, how you doing? Good day? Yeah, I'm going to go blow some shit up for a little while. She's like, all right, you go blow some shit up. And I'd go down and I'd get online and I'd play, what would I play? Probably mostly Assassin's Creed, because I could just kill the shit out of a bunch of evil people, know.
But what does Assassin's Creed have that's kind of like the real life?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft does such a fantastic job of creating unique stories that have never been created before and are based on pure fantasy. Anyway, I shouldn't harp on them. I love my original Assassin's Creed episodes, but
Yeah. So what do you
That's
think
it.
of it? Awesome.
That's it.
Hey,
for the
oh
show
my God,
notes.
we actually got through all the show notes for once.
Yeah, I kept it short this week.
Yeah.
You know, just because I figured like we would just fill in the gaps with other stuff.
Which
Because
we did.
You were saying that
Yeah.
there was a story, and I was like, oh, you should fill in with that. Yeah. It was, I think it's the Bloodborne one. But,
Yeah.
so,
so what do you,
here
what
we
do you
are.
think about heading over?
We are. It's 9:00. It's right on the dot. On the dot. I know who will appreciate that joke. We're gonna take a little 15-minute break here, like we usually do,
Yep.
and in 15 minutes when we come back, we're gonna be broadcasting from the workbench, where I'm gonna have to ditch this splint, so I
You're gonna
can
have to clean up your bench a bit too.
handle miniatures and
Hey,
paint.
it's gonna be you having to clean your bench for once, and not me.
I know. The tables have turned.
Yes. How
This
the turns
guy
are
got a
tabled.
wet palette, so
Yes,
super excited
I
to
did.
show
This
the
guy
camera
also
angle
has
from
neck
there.
pain, so I'm gonna have a hell of a time painting later.
Oh well, yeah, you were up for days, like switching your bottles to dropper bottles.
Yeah.
So we will see you all in 15 minutes. We hope you stick around to join us.
See you then.
want to check it now?
Yay! We have a hot mic.
Alright, we have a hot mic coming through. And that's my fault.
I don't know
I thought I set the stream
what
deck
you
up.
did, man, but this cord not reaching. Oh.
You need some help over there?
No, I got it stuck on a chair.
Take it around that way. Give me some slack over there. Alright. Pop that in. Don't try this at home. Professionals at work. I just got my sweater. Got glue on it. God, this stuff comes out. Alright, now we're playing with power. Now we're cooking with power.
What's this?
Cooking with gas. Whatever the hell it was. Drop back into the stream here. Sorry about that. So, let me see.
This little baby. Who's over there?
Yeah, we got audio.
Look at her.
Such a muppet. Such a muppet. Daddy's little girl. She's got like spider cobwebs all over her whiskers. She's been crawling around where the spiders go. Well, what sucks is like we had a pretty good dialogue going on there for a little while, but the mic was muted.
Were we really talking about anything?
Yeah, I was getting on a roll while you were gone. I was talking shit about you.
yeah, and the mic wasn't on, huh? What a shame.
Yeah,
oh,
but you'll never be able to prove it. Never be able to hold me to it. No, actually, I was just talking about how like
you little. Oh, I see how it is.
I kind of feel like
I'm petting you and holding you, and now all of a sudden my hand is a target to be attacked.
It's your hand's a snackety snack, dude.
All right, you getting rolled off here.
No, what I was saying was like I feel like I deprived myself of this quality time when I love this hobby so much. I love this part of the hobby so much that I really should spend more time down here painting at the bench. But life happens, right? And you get going doing other things and you can't always
you just don't have time.
Do it. Other obligations pop in, and then like, oh, no, man, oh, that sucks.
What?
I just snapped the blade off of this goblin.
Ooh. That does suck.
I mean, I can fix it. I think actually, this was actually the one that was broken already. Okay. Not to worry. Nothing that can't be glued. It's got to be really super careful there. This is that Spellcrow mini. It's just I hate doing that on a mini I've already painted because then like you wind up with these weird glue spots.
Marks, yeah.
So you know what's funny is like, okay, you know the story with static grass and why it's called static grass?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they have the static grass applicators?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in my life I've ever used a static grass applicator to apply it. Well, shit. Okay. I guess maybe I'll do that last. I'll put the tufts on here. That's what I dropped earlier. Where is she? Did you take her out of the room?
No, I just set her on the floor.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. So, dear son.
Yes.
I do believe we're going to need to do a hobby store, crafting store run to get some more glue.
You running out?
I'm running out. Lo and behold, there aren't any backups.
Ooh. What a shame.
Indeed. I mean, it's all good. We haven't made one of those. We haven't re-upped that kind of stuff, and it's been a while. You got all those custodies you were putting together. How is that going, by the way?
The assembly of it, or what?
Well, just the whole project in general.
Good. I was
going to ask you, do you have everything you need now?
Yep.
Nice.
So I'm actually working on painting up Captain General Trajan Valoris.
Oh, I should probably put that on there. This is too small of a pen. Trajan. What was the part of the name?
Valoris. Or Valorous, depending on where you live and how you say it.
Do you have glue? I might be able to squeak enough out of here for this piece, but in case I need more. Alright, Cigar Boy is done. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So do you not need this?
No, thanks. I just gotta hope that glue holds. It's on a dagger. Hopefully, like when we're playing, nobody lifts it. Well, I guess I'll be lifting these minis.
Well,
it's not
just,
a PC.
you know, don't lift it by the dagger now. Gotta try and remember that.
Yeah. God, I know I put a wash on this one, but it just looks and feels like it just didn't really do what it needed to do. Okay. So talk a little bit about your wet palette. Tell me, are you really liking it now? Are you
So far, yeah.
are you getting used to it? Are you, like...
No, I'm still getting used to it. There have been some challenges that I've found so far. Like I had to thin my paints out to get them onto a dropper, to get them into the dropper bottles.
Okay.
But I found that having them thinned and then putting them on the wet palette makes this kind of like double wet, where sometimes, depending on how long they've been on the wet palette, they almost get like too wet.
Huh.
So like instead of going on nicely in a coat or two, they're going on in like 3-4 coats, which is more than it should take.
Oh.
For it's like too thin.
Oh, yeah.
So.
How are you mitigating that, or how are you making up for that?
I don't know. Still trying to figure out how. I'm actually using some of that very thinness here to brighten up some of these shadows. It's like areas where so much wash ended up pooling that it looks black instead of red.
Sure.
I can take this really, really thin paint and kind of tint it back towards more of like a dark red instead of just, like black to red, boom. Which is going to hopefully make it look a lot nicer. I've also found that it is really nice for blending things. Making colors with blending and like that whole thing.
That's cool.
And I've actually found that the best place to experiment with that blending is on cloaks. So I'm messing around on this dude's cloak here and doing some blending, trying to create some nice transitions, and I think it's looking really nice.
Zuzu. Hi, love.
I've also found that because it makes them so thin and kind of watery, that they look really vibrant, and then they dry a lot darker than they go on. Like more so than normal. Because when they're wet, it's reflecting a lot of light or whatever. I'm not a scientist, don't take my word for it. And then when it dries, it kind of dulls out, and you really need a couple more layers to build up that tone. But that can actually be a very good thing.
Well, you know, I bought a I bought a new replacement brush for my Psycho, and I'm still using the old one because
there's still some life.
There's still some life in it. But what's nice is the life that it found, the new life that it found, is for like the certifiably insane is what I should call this brush now, because it's so thin and I can get in here and do these little details like unbelievable. Like what I can get in here and paint now.
Although, you know what I've just realized I've done?
Painted the wrong colors?
Yep. I was mixing these transitional blends, I think.
Oh boy.
Is that how you call it? And then I just jumped right into the brighter color that I was mixing with. It's not that bad. I can just go down.
Oh, so you skipped. You didn't necessarily use the wrong color. You just
no. I just went
skipped.
Too bright. I went like dark red, medium dark. Oops! I went all the way to bright. You know. So I kind of skipped that middle part that was supposed to make it look as good as it should be, but you know what? I can fix it. I'm using Citadel's Wordbearer Red for the darker tone, and I'm actually using I think it's AK Interactive's Red, Blood Red, as the lighter tone. Because apparently when they say blood red, they mean like fresh blood, not like.
Which is not bright.
Okay, they mean whatever blood is bright then. Because it's kind of a bright red, actually.
Okay. That's how this Army Painter Pure Red comes out. Pretty nice and vibrant. You look at the eyes on these gobos, and you're like, yep, that's red. There's no question about it. Oh, Zuzu. Zuzu. Ah, shit. I forgot I didn't open this yet. I was just about to commit a huge disaster.
What's that?
This Lamian medium. And I was, like, really struggling to flip the top here, and I almost, like, went, you know, squirted all over the place. Hi, Zoo.
Oh, climb on down. Oh, Zoo. Oh, hold on, girl. Hold on. Okay. Where are you going there?
She's like, I'm coming up to the top, big boy.
Want to sit in the fan? Is that nice? Is the fan nice? Hi. Okay, you're just leaning on me now. That's all you're doing. I see.
There's like some serious drying going on here with that fan.
Okay, Zoo. Where? Oh, I see where you want to go. You do realize how hard this is gonna make just about everything I'm doing, right, Zoo?
She's like, none of that really matters, you see.
Yeah, do you see where she's sitting?
Yeah, I am here now. That's what's important.
What do you think? Zoo. Zoo. What do you think? Sorry, I gotta turn that back on. I think I'm going to have to break out some gold.
Shit. Here it is.
Oh. Dude, I feel like one of those, like, evil rich villains who's sitting in, like, a big chair.
Yeah.
Got the cat on the side, you know?
We meet again, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
May I press you for a cucumber sandwich? Thank you, no.
Zuzu, you know I'm painting.
It's funny because
You
our
can't be moving around like that.
cousin in Texas posted the article, the headline, Sean Connery passing away, and I'm like, almost said something, but one of his other friends called him out. So, dude, this is like from last year. Last March.
Zuzu, you know I'm painting. You can't be doing that. You chose your lap, now sit in it.
You mean she chose your lap?
No, I mean, like, she made her choice. Alright, down you go. Down you go.
Oh, did you get the boot from Deacon?
She did. She's like, that's it. I'm gonna go eat every single mini you own.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yep.
Hey, it's 10.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. It seems like we just fired up the stream.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could go a little longer. I'm not, particularly pressed.
Yeah.
So, let's just run with it a little while and see. Okay there, cowboy.
head, man. Hurts. Sucks on a Friday night, but, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do more than I've already done about it, so.
You took something though, right?
Yep.
Super excited. I've been working on this Roll20 stuff, and thanks to a good friend of ours, John Pickle, for really helping me out, doing a Zoom call with me and showing me some of the subtler points of Roll20. Because there's a lot of shit packed in there. There's a lot of stuff, Deacon, as far as like these features go.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it really cool is like once you learn how to start using these and utilizing them, gameplay becomes a lot cooler. And now that I know how to do macros, I don't need to worry about a custom character sheet. I can build them right into character bios and create these macros so that like every time you guys want to or need to roll something, you can roll it right there. So that was like a huge relief for me because I was like, oh my god. I frankly was looking at the way that you create custom character sheets, and I was like, if I got to go through all that and learn a whole new language again, screw that. That's why I got out of programming. I got tired. I got burned out of doing that. You know, writing applications in code 16 hours a day. So I think you will be very excited about it, and anybody else who winds up playing. Of course, like, you know, we go recruiting other players, and it'll be old hat to them because I'm used to running in person. Everybody's doing virtual these days because of COVID. It's become just a popular medium to do that on.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to bring my game to that forum. Plus, means more content for the stream.
Yeah. Working on this guy's cloak a bit. Check it out.
Yeah, nice.
I think the front of it is really a lot better than the back because there's a lot more different shapes of highlights, and it's just, I think it looks cooler.
Hi, Zuzu. She might actually need to get out of here to go use the bathroom.
That's true. I'm gonna go let her up.
Yeah. Just a moment. You know, the minute I get up to do that, she's going to be like, nope. Jump up in my seat. That's all I really wanted.
Fuck.
Oh. Okay, watch out. Hey.
Alright, honestly, I'm thinking let's just call it here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we could do that. I will give it a try from here. Let me clean this brush first. I gotta get this paint off of here.
Yeah.
Because this is what's kind of fucking this thing up. I mean, seriously, what? Check this out.
No, I believe you.
You think I should just get rid of this finally?
No.
Well, that was a pretty boring Workbench segment. Apologize to our Twitch viewers. We have failed you. It's just like, you know, being out of practice, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, some nights we have good dialogue from the Workbench. Some nights it's just like, sort of like, eh. But here we are at the end of another stream. We're going to call it a night here. Please tune back in next Friday from 8 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. We're not going to be streaming tomorrow. Normally we do stream Fridays and Saturdays every weekend pretty consistently. But Deacon's got some stuff going on next Saturday. So I might
next
pop on.
Saturday isn't tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, yeah. I'm sorry. We won't be streaming tomorrow night. I might pop on my other account, Dante Odyssey on Twitch. But we'll have to see. I was thinking of playing some Valheim. But otherwise, normally, every Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central, we're here. We do Fireside Chat for the first half of the show. And one night or another, we will do Workbench during the second half. And the other night, if we've done Workbench, we will do from the Battle Zone, where we'll play a tabletop game. And sometimes we have a guest. We have Griffin come over and play games with us. Check us out on Twitter. Tavern_Black is the handle on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. That's at Black Dragon Tavern Online. You can check us out on Facebook. That's simply Black Dragon Tavern. You can get our YouTube and our Twitch link off of the About page here on our Twitch channel. Or not our Twitch link. I'm getting tired, I can tell. Our YouTube and our Discord account URLs. So, yeah, I'm stumbling over my words now. And I know I'm tired. Like, too many late nights this week. But thanks for tuning in. Deacon, you have anything you want to say before signing off? Your light's right in the camera.
I know
think.
I can't have it right in my face. It's
No, I know, but you can aim it down a little more. But all right, well, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.